Greetings, Goddess Body, Mind, Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Y'all, it is my honor to help people connect with their life purpose so that they live with courage and confidence, so that they can live the life that they know that they deserve. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to be here with you in Facebook world. I wanted to talk about what is all this hubbub about the eclipses. So, if you are into astrology, you are hearing the eclipse, all of the eclipse talk. I'm going to adjust my camera. So, y'all, Venus is retrograde. And I'm ruled by Venus. And so I was not liking that angle and how I was looking. Okay? It's all about the angle. Anywho, thank y'all for having fun with me on that. But if you're into astrology, people, all of the astrologers, people who talk astrology are all talking about the eclipses, because we have what are called eclipse seasons. And if you're not into astrology, then, let me do the honor of helping you to realize things finna get wild and crazy. All right. Finna, if you don't know what finna means, it means they are about to get wild and crazy. So I wanted to just kind of come on and talk to you all about why are the eclipses are important. Hello, is anyone out there? I think I just saw someone log on. Where are you from? Let me know who you are. All right. I know some of my peoples be joining me during these lives, and I always love having you on. So yeah, just go ahead and let me know who's out there or where you're from. Either one works. But I wanted to talk about three important reasons, or three reasons why eclipses are important. But I want to start off with a story first. Hello, welcome everybody. I want to start off with a story first. I've talked about the story about me and what actually got me into astrology in other videos. But I'll just go over it really quickly here. How did I get deep off into astrology? Well, at the top of 2017, I felt lost and distraught. I just sort of felt like I needed some guidance and I needed some direction. And, a lot of times spiritual teachers don't always talk about what you want them to talk about, right? So it was sort of like I wasn't hearing anything from people who I looked to regarding, spiritual teaching. What's going on? Well, the astrologers, they will talk about anything because it's so neat to them to understand what transit is going on, what are the planetary interactions, and to see it unfold. You may not always know the detail, but you will be able to see there was an energetic pattern that you could see via astrology. And so I started listening to that and feeling like I was starting to get some answers, at least some insight as to why things were the way that they were. Well, that was January 2017, and we were in an eclipse season that was due to have eclipses in February, March. It was something like that. February, March. And at that time, I still didn't know anything about astrology, didn't understand eclipses. And but someone had mentioned how she was being affected by the eclipses back in September. So it made me start taking note of, okay, well, let me listen. They're talking about the eclipses. Okay, what does this mean for me? And the one in Pisces, my birthday is in Pisces season. So my sun is in the sign of Pisces. And when those eclipses hit, two things happened that I think this was not a coincidence. My godfather, may his spirit rest in peace, but at the time he was still here, and he's a Pisces sun also. And there was like this, something happened to him with his health. I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was very, very serious. And I had one of the worst dreams of my life. I had a dream that I died. And the short and long of this dream was I watched myself die. There was someone who was there with me. I was yelling out her name to help me. And the name of this lady was Gift. I yelled, Gift, Gift. And, she never did come. She just stayed back there in the room, and I just saw the life leave out of my body. I woke up crying. That dream completely and totally changed me. I've never been the same since that dream. And it's part of the reason I'm on doing Facebook Lives. It made me realize I will use my gifts or I will die and leave them here unused. And I was terrified. I said, I will never, ever. I'll do it. I'll go on ahead. I'll share spiritual wisdom, even though I just feel like so nervous about it at times. Well, that's what got me into saying, okay, I need to pay more attention to the eclipses. And I dove deep into astrology, and I began to realize that eclipses make a difference. If I keep up with what the focus of the eclipse is, then literally I can begin to make changes in my life that produce tangible results. And for me, that's everything. I don't want to just know spiritual stuff. I want to be able to move my life in the direction that I want it to go into. And so that's how I got into eclipses. But a lot of times when you talk to people about astrology, how's everybody doing out there? If you are into eclipses, press 1. If you don't know anything about eclipses, type in a 2. I'd like to know who knows what about eclipses. But anywho, what I began to realize is once I started diving deep into astrology, a lot of times people's eyes will glaze over. They're like, I don't even know anything. I don't understand what you're talking about. And one of my missions in using this ancient tool of wisdom in sharing with the people who I work with is to help them to see how living your life, not according to the eclipses, but letting the eclipses be a guide. Because people are so lost. They're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be working on. And sometimes the thing that we're working on, it's not fun. It's not necessarily pleasant, but it doesn't mean anything is wrong. So the eclipses sometimes can explain why certain things happen and why does this thing keep coming up? Why is this all of a sudden here? So let me just tell you really quickly. I have a few notes because I didn't want to get sidetracked. Y'all know I will just talk on and on and on. So why are eclipses so important? Why do astrologers go on and on about this? First and foremost, eclipses bring about fated events. As I have studied astrology, I am a firm believer in that we all choose the chart that we have, because when we're born, we have a snapshot that is taken in the sky of where the planets are. And that time of birth, it puts an imprint in a blueprint, imprint into our soul, into our spirit. And we choose this. It's not random. We choose it. And this blueprint is to unfold in a particular manner that will help keep us on the straight and narrow to our life purpose, to our destiny. And so I am of the belief that we choose this chart the way it is so that when that eclipse comes around, if we are in alignment with our life purpose, it will create an amplification that will move us there even more, or maybe more with more momentum. If we are completely and totally out of alignment, we are moving in the wrong direction. An eclipse will make something happen to bring us in alignment with our life purpose. We talk in astrology and say it brings about fated events. Sometimes it's a move that needed to happen to get you in alignment with your career or get you in alignment with the love of your life, They will bring about changes in us that will get us in alignment with our life purpose. Next, another reason why eclipses are so important is because they create focus. I talked about that earlier. If you know what area of life the eclipse is happening in for you, for about a year and a half, that will be an area where you can focus. And what I have found for me is that, let's go back to that Pisces eclipse that I talked about, that happened for me. It happened where my sun is. What does the sun have to do with it? It has to do with your gifts. It has to do with your talents. It has to do with your career, your life purpose. And that eclipse happened because I was moving towards fitness. I really just, have struggled with moving full on into being someone who teaches spirituality. And so I was headed towards fitness, and that dream woke me up and made me say, forget it. I will do this spiritual teaching thing. So it literally made me, after that eclipse, after those eclipses, the next eclipses that happened were in Leo and Aquarius. And Leo, in my chart, has to do with career. And all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I am like, I want to be up leveled. I am not just, I don't know who people think I am, but I am better than this. It was like I just really got obsessed with wanting to be respected, because that's Leo. Leo wants respect. I wanted to be respected. I wanted to operate from my gifts, So for that year, I pushed for it. Now, because I felt arrogant, because, a lot of times Leo makes you feel confident, and people perceive Leos to be arrogant. They're not. That's their destiny. Leos are confident. They're here to help the rest of us who not confident be confident. But anywho, if I had not known that that was a Leo eclipse season for me, I would have thought, you know what, you're being very arrogant and you need to chill out. I may not have allowed myself to bloom and blossom, because that took me in a whole different direction to saying, I will start my membership site, right? Okay, so it gave me an area of focus, and I was relentless. And this is what you can do. You just need to make sure you stick with the eclipses. They will show you so much that you're working on. And the next thing you know, if you're moving in the wrong direction, you get moved in the right direction. But if you're moving in the right direction, it pushes you even more. Lastly, the other reason that eclipses are so important. So for instance, the moon, it comes through and its effects will last maybe 2 days. Mercury, its effects will last, 3 days, 4 days tops. They don't last too long, It's just not this long-term effect that most of the planets, it just doesn't have a long-term effect. But when an eclipse happens, that the energy of that eclipse lasts for 6 months. 6 months. And it's a tricky 6 months, because actually it's longer than that. You can feel the effects of the eclipse before, and you can feel the effects of the eclipse for 6 months after easily. So the other thing about eclipses is you may not experience something day of the eclipse. So there's 2 eclipses in June, 1 in July. You may not have anything happen majorly during those eclipses. You might, but not all the time does something happen on eclipse day. Sometimes it's 3 to 4 months out. I've seen it with my own eyes. I encourage you all to be a scientist. Test what I'm saying. Watch it. I don't just believe stuff blindly. Well, sometimes I do, because I'm spiritual, and if your guides and your ancestors speak to you, you may not always get like a solid physical confirmation. You just sort of know in your spirit, right? But most of the time, I'm testing everything that I am learning, and I have seen it with accuracy in my life and other people's lives. You can see it 3 to 4 months after the day of the eclipse. Something is going down. Something is popping off. Something is changing for that person. So those are the reasons why eclipses are so important. Number 1, they bring about fated events. Number 2, they create a focus that you will have instead of being lost. Where the eclipse is happening in your chart. Follow the eclipse and you'll know what you need to be working on. And lastly, their effects last for a while. So we have to pay attention to them so that maybe we don't get caught off guard. And we'll know, okay, this is coming up because I need to do something about it, not because I'm a bad person or because my life sucks. Or sometimes this is another reason why they're so important. It's an opportunity. And if you do not pay attention to that opportunity that comes before you because you didn't know, this was really an opportunity of a lifetime, you might have to wait a little while for it to come back around. All right. This is Tyrone Milade. Thank you all so much. I hope that this has been helpful to you. Please like the video, share it. More than that, I would like to know, do you know what the eclipses are about? If you do, how have you used the eclipse energy in your own life? How have you seen it play out in your own life? I would love, love, love to hear from you. Also, just to let y'all know, I'm putting an eclipse course for those of you who are in my inner circle. I'm putting an eclipse course in the inner circle for you all at the end of this week. So don't even worry about it. I got you covered. If you're not in the inner circle, you can join and you can get the eclipse course too. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much. GoddessBodyMindSpirit.com is where you can go learn more about my inner circle. But until the next video, hey y'all, take care. All right, I'll see you soon. Peace.